Genesis chapter 50 from the Jerusalem Bible. From the death of Jacob to that of Joseph. Seeing that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers said, "What if Joseph intends to treat us as enemies and repay us in full for all the wrong we did him?" So they sent this message to Joseph: "Before your father died, he gave us this order. You must say to Joseph, 'Oh, forgive your brothers their crime and their sin and all the wrong they did you. Now therefore we beg you, forgive the crime of the servants of your father's God.'" Joseph wept at the message that they sent to him. His brothers came themselves and fell down before him. "We present ourselves before you," they said, "as your slaves." But Joseph answered them, "Do not be afraid. Is it for me to put myself in God's place? The evil you planned to do to me has by God's design been turned to good, that he might bring about, as indeed he has, the deliverance of a numerous people. So you need not be afraid. I myself will provide for you and your dependents." In this way he reassured them with words that touched their hearts. So Joseph stayed in Egypt with his father's family, and Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw the third generation of Ephraim's children, as also the children of Machir, Manasseh's son, who were born on Joseph's lap. At length Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will be sure to remember you kindly and take you back from this country to the land that he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made Israel's sons swear an oath, "When God remembers you with kindness, be sure to take my bones from here." Joseph died at the age of 110. They embalmed him and laid him in his coffin in Egypt. Exodus. Part 1, the liberation from Egypt. Israel in Egypt. The prosperity of the Hebrews in Egypt. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went with Jacob to Egypt, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali; Gad and Asher. In all, the descendants of Jacob numbered 70 persons. Joseph was in Egypt already. Then Joseph died, and his brothers, and all that generation. But the sons of Israel were fruitful and grew in numbers greatly. They increased and grew so immensely powerful that they filled the land. The Hebrews oppressed. Then there came to power in Egypt a new king who knew nothing of Joseph. "Look," he said to his subjects, "these people, the sons of Israel, have become so numerous and strong that they are a threat to us. We must be prudent and take steps against their increasing any further, or if war should break out, they might add to the numbers of our enemies. They might take arms against us and so escape out of the country." Accordingly, they put slave drivers over the Israelites to wear them down under heavy loads. In this way, they built the store cities of Pithom and Ramses for Pharaoh. But the more they were crushed, the more they increased and spread, and men came to dread the sons of Israel. The Egyptians forced the sons of Israel into slavery and made their lives unbearable with hard labor, work with clay and with brick, all kinds of work in the fields. They forced on them every kind of labor. The king of Egypt then spoke to the Hebrew midwives one of whom was named Shiphrah and the other Puah. When you midwives attend Hebrew women, he said, watch the 2 stones carefully. If it is a boy, kill him. If a girl, let her live. But the midwives were God-fearing. They disobeyed the command of the king of Egypt and let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives. Why, he asked them, have you done this and spared the boys? The Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women, they answered Pharaoh. They are hardy, and they give birth before the midwife reaches them. God was kind to the midwives. The people went on increasing and grew very powerful. Since the midwives reverenced God, he granted them descendants. Pharaoh then gave his subjects this command: throw all the boys born to the Hebrews into the river, but let all the girls live. The birth of Moses, the early life and call of Moses. There was a man of the tribe of Levi who had taken a woman of Levi as his wife. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and seeing what a fine child he was, she kept him hidden for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him. Covering it with bitumen and pitch, she put the child inside and laid it among the reeds at the river's edge. His sister stood some distance away to see what would happen to him. Now Pharaoh's daughter went down to bathe in the river, and the girls attending her were walking down by the riverside. Among the reeds she noticed the basket, and she sent her maid to fetch it. She opened it and looked, and saw a baby boy crying, and she was sorry for him. This is a child of one of the Hebrews, she said. And the child's sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and find you a nurse among the Hebrew women to suckle the child for you? Yes, go, Pharaoh's daughter said to her. And the girl went off to find the baby's own mother. To her, the daughter of Pharaoh said, take this child away and suckle it for me. I will see that you are paid. So the woman took the child and suckled it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who treated him like a son. She named him Moses because, she said, I drew him out of the water. Moses escapes to Midian. Moses, a man by now, set out at this time to visit his countrymen, and he saw what a hard life they were having. And he saw an Egyptian strike a Hebrew, one of his countrymen. Looking round, he could find no one in sight, so he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. On the following day he came back, and there were 2 Hebrews fighting. He said to the man who was in the wrong, what do you mean by hitting your fellow countrymen? And who appointed you? And who appointed you, the man retorted, to be prince over us and judge? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? Moses was frightened. Clearly, that business has come to light, he thought. When Pharaoh heard of the matter, he would have killed Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and made for the land of Midian. He sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's sheep. Shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses came to their defense and watered their sheep for them. When they returned to their father Reuel, he said to them, you are back early today. An Egyptian protected us from the shepherds, they said. Yes, and he drew water for us and watered the flock. And where is he asked his daughters. Why did you leave the man there? Ask him to eat with us. So Moses settled with this man, who gave him his daughter Zipporah in marriage. She gave birth to a son, and he named him Gershom, because he said, I am a stranger in a strange land. The call of Moses. God remembers Israel. During this long period, the king of Egypt died. The sons of Israel, groaning in their slavery, cried out for help, and from the depths of their slavery their cry came up to God. God heard their groaning, and he called to mind his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God looked down upon the sons of Israel. He knew. The burning bush. Moses was looking after the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, priest of Midian. He and his flock to the far side of the wilderness. He led his flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of Yahweh appeared to him in the shape of a flame of fire, coming from the middle of a bush. Moses looked. There was the bush blazing, but it was not being burnt up. I must go and look at this strange sight, Moses said, and see why the bush is not burnt. Now Yahweh saw him go forward to look, and God called to him from the middle of the bush. Moses, Moses, he said. Here I am, he answered. Come no nearer, he said. Take off your shoes, for the place on which you stand is holy ground. I am the God of your father, he said, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses covered his face, afraid to look at God. The mission of Moses. And Yahweh said, I have seen the miserable state of my people in Egypt. I have heard their appeal to be free of their slave drivers. Yes, I am well aware of their sufferings. I mean to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptians and bring them up out of that land to a land rich and broad, a land where milk and honey flow, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And now the cry of the sons of Israel has come to me, and I have witnessed the way in which the Egyptians oppressed them. So come, I send you to Pharaoh to bring the sons of Israel, my people, out of Egypt. Moses said to God, Who am I to go to Pharaoh and bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt? I shall be with you, was the answer. And this is the sign by which you shall know that it is I who have sent you. After you have led the people out of Egypt, you are to offer worship to God on this very mountain. The divine name revealed. Then Moses said to God, I am to go then to the sons of Israel and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. But if they ask me what his name is, what am I to tell them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. This, he added, is what you must say to the sons of Israel. I am has sent me to you. And God also said to Moses, You are to say to the sons of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name for all time. By this name I shall be invoked for all generations to come.